Welcome to this tutorial where we will be building a simple hockey game in Java. My name is Your Name, and I'm excited to take you through the entire process, step by step. By the end of this video, you will have a working hockey game that you can play and improve. Before we dive into coding, let's outline what features our hockey game will have. We'll implement a simple 2D game where players can move up and down, a puck that can be hit around, and a scoring system. Sounds fun, right? Make sure you have Java and an IDE like IntelliJ IDEA or Eclipse installed. We'll be using JavaSwing for our GUI. Let's start by creating a new Java project and setting up the necessary packages. Inside your project, create a class named HockeyGame. This will be our main class that initializes the game window. We will also create a separate class for the game logic and player movements. Next, let's create the game panel class that will contain the game components. This panel will be where we draw our players and the puck. Here's the basic setup for the game panel class. Now, let's add the hockey player and puck. We will represent them as circles for simplicity. Add a variable for the player's position and puck's position in the game panel class. Let's update the drawGame method to show the player and puck. We will use the fillOval method of the graphics class to draw the circles. Here's how you do it. Let's add keyboard controls to move the player up and down. Override the keyPressed method in the game panel class and add key bindings to handle player movement. Now when you run the game and press the up or down keys, you should see the player moving on the screen. Next, let's make the puck move when the player hit it. First, we need to detect collision between the player and the puck. We'll call checkCollision in our game loop. To create a game loop, we can use a timer to repeatedly call repaint. Add this timer in the game panel constructor. Now run your program again. When the player collides with the puck, it should move in a random direction. This creates the dynamic gameplay we want. Next, let's implement a scoring system. We will maintain a score for each player. We will also visually represent the score at the top of the game panel. Update the drawGame method to show the scores. When the puck goes past the screen on the right, we should increment the opponent's score. Update the checkCollision method accordingly. To reset the puck position after scoring, create the resetPuck method. With that in place, run the game again. You should now see scores being incremented as players take turns scoring. Next, to make things exciting, let's add a second player. We will draw the second player on the opposite side of the game panel. Update the drawGame method to include the second player. Implement controls for the second player, using the W and S keys to move up and down. You can extend the keyPressed method as shown here. We also need to check for collisions for the second player. Add another collision detection when checking for the puck. Modify checkCollision accordingly to ensure it correctly detects hits from both players. Let's make it even more interactive by adding sound effects. Use the clip class from javax.sound.sample to play sound when the puck is hit. You can look for an audio file and place it in your project resources. Call the sound playing functionality inside the collision detection methods to hear the sound whenever a player hits the puck. As we reach the final touches, let's add some enhancements. Consider adding a timer to limit game duration, improve visuals with images for players and puck, and even add a pause feature. One approach to implement a timer is using another timer that counts down and stops the game when time's up. You can also show a message to declare the winner based on scores. Finally, let's wrap everything up by allowing players to restart the game without needing to close and reopen the window. You can add a button that resets all necessary game states. In the restart game method, reset all scores, puck positions, and player positions to their initial states. Don't forget to repaint your game panel. And there you have it. We created a simple yet functional hockey game in Java using Swing. Feel free to customize and enhance the game further with your own ideas. If you like this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more programming videos, and leave comments with your feedback or questions down below. Happy coding!